Hey, this is Dr. Tracy Granfield, and today I'm at OptiLife. We just finished some classes, body pump and RPM and some core work. But today we're going to go over lower back stretches. So this is for my friends that have some lower back pain or dealing with some spasm or chronically have a constant stiffness or ache in there. Or if you're a healthy person and you're just trying to be proactive about taking care of your spinal health. Here's a lot of different ways to relieve the lower back. So for everybody, it might be a little bit different where they find relief. So I'm going to show a lot of different options and tools to use that. So first things first, since the ball is going to roll away from me, we're going to show how you can relieve a lower back spasm or tension. I don't have lower back pain most of the time, but this is really relieving even for me. So with a large exercise ball, if you have it, you're going to hold it in to your chest and give it a hug, and then you're going to come down on top of the ball. You're going to roll forward. Back just a little bit. You're going to move up, roll forward, and get the top of your body on top of the ball, and you're going to reach your arms out long like this. And then just make sure you relax your head, and all you have to do is lay here. Lay here and completely relax over that ball. So that's gonna just open up the lumbar spine and give it space. So you can stay here for a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, set a timer on your phone, or you can stay here for as long as you want and as long as you have blood supplied to your brain. So that's a really nice one. In lower back pain people, they tell us that flexion is really good, but some people prefer extension, and then vice versa, one or the other could make it worse. So if you are an extension person, you might try just laying over the ball like this. Okay, so that's the work with the ball so far. We're gonna push that away. Now, a really nice lower back stretch is a child's pose. So you can keep the knees together or you can bring them apart and then slide down, reaching your hands forward. Let your belly drop to the floor, and then you're gonna let your head drop towards the floor. So this is really nice to stretch the shoulders, but you're also getting some nice back work. So again, if that's gonna be too much in your back, bring your knees in closer, okay? I love this one because then we can start to get the sides by walking our hands out to the corner. And I'm really trying to reach and stretch through here, through my ribs, and sink down into that. So you wanna hold it about 30 seconds in each position. So back to the middle, you can do it again in the middle, or you can just walk your hands over to the right side or left side and hold for 30 seconds. So that's your child's pose. Then we have cat-cow. So cat-cow, you look like a cat or a cow. Your hands are gonna be under your shoulders, knees right under the hips. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna breathe in, tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin to your chest, exhale and let that belly drop and come into extension. Breathe in, tuck the tailbone under, and pushing my back up to the ceiling. Exhale, dropping my belly and extending my head softly. So only go in that range of motion where you don't have pain. If you do have pain, maybe you just want to do the cat part, or maybe you just want to do the cow part. You can do that several reps. Maybe you do it 5 to 10 times. And then Cobra Pose. So this one's for those people that find relief and extension. What you're gonna do in Cobra Pose, you're gonna lay down on your belly and you're gonna put your elbows right under your shoulders and forearms on the floor, and you're just gonna lift up and go into extension through the entire spine. So you can hold that for as little as long as you like. Okay, now we're going to talk about the stretches that are really important for your lower back. Your lower back not only has the lower back muscles, the ab muscles, but it has all of these muscles of the upper leg, the quads and the hamstrings and the IT bands that insert, so the pelvis here, your lower lumbar spine stacks on top of that pelvis. So if any muscles that are attached to the pelvis are tight, they're gonna pull on your lower back. So one common thing that really needs to be stretched for lower back pain is a hamstring stretch. So you can do that a number of ways, but if you're on your knees, you're gonna put your foot out. Let me back up just a little bit. You're gonna put your foot out, and then you're gonna tip forward, lifting the chest, and you're gonna tip at the hip. If you can, put your hands down, but if you can't, just put your hands right here. So you only tip forward in that range where you feel a light stretch in the back of your thigh here. If you can't straighten your leg and you feel a stretch with your knee bent, this is okay too. So this might be hard. Here's an alternative to stretch your hamstring. Grab a belt or a long yoga strap in this instance. Lay on your back, and then you're gonna put that belt underneath the arch of the foot and hold on to it as far away as you need to. Lay back, and then just pull your leg forward towards your head. If you need to, again, have a soft knee bend, that's fine as well, just as long as you're feeling a light stretch in the back of your leg here. So I like my leg fully extended and my toe totally coming down towards my face. And again, hold it for 15 to 30 seconds, no less. And make sure you do both sides. So there's the hamstring, a quad stretch. You can stand up a couple different ways. So if you can, balance, hold some balance, grab that foot and pull it into the heel into the glute. Okay, so make sure, try not to have your knee out here. Try to keep your knee in close to the other knee. Chest is lifted. And if you can, hold on to something like a chair. That way you can actually more fully relax into that stretch, because if you're here, you might be holding some balance and not fully able to release that muscle. If you can't, grab your foot. If you don't have that flexibility in your knee, you can again use a belt or a strap. Make a loop with it. Hold on to something. Put your foot in that strap so that the strap is hitting the top of the foot. And that way you can stretch your quad this way. So 15 to 30 seconds on that and both sides. So now we got the hamstring and the quad. We talked about it yesterday, but I'm gonna go over it again because it's such an important area, is your IT band. So if it's tender, you need it, okay? So with the IT band, you're gonna lay side on onto this foam roller, put your other foot forward for balance. You're gonna put your hands on the floor. So make sure you're targeting right on the side of the hip and all the way down the knee, obviously on the leg that's on the foam roller. So then I'm just gonna slowly roll to get that foam roller right before my knee. And then I'm gonna slowly roll down the length of the muscle all the way, almost over the bony hip, but not quite on the bony hip. If you find any spots that are tender, stop and hold, take some deep breaths. If it's really, really tender, use your hands and use your foot and push your body weight off a little bit while you're moving through so you don't have so much pressure or so much stress. Okay. So this foam roller I have is a little bit different one that I've been showing recently. So it's just a solid foam roller. This one's a high density, so there's low density, medium, and high density with foam rollers. A lot of people don't know that. The high density is gonna have a lot more intensity and maybe more painful to use. So only use this one as your muscles get softer and they get more supple. Or if you have enough strength and you're athletic enough and you can hold some body weight off of it, you could also use this one for an option. So that's the IT band, and then we've got this awesome ball. It's just a generic GoFit brand. So you can do this on the hamstrings. You can put that ball right underneath the hamstring, lift your body weight up onto that hamstring, and then roll forward all the way to the glute and back. If that's not enough, stack your legs so you have that extra pressure, okay? Or what you can do is you find a tight spot, you can lean forward and lean back, okay? You could use a ball like this also underneath the quad or the IT band. That's kind of interesting. It just has a smaller surface area, so I feel like it's able to penetrate a little bit deeper into the tissues. And then the quad. So we stretch the quad, and we definitely is different when we use a roller, like a ball or a foam roller underneath our quad. So I hadn't showed that yet, but you can also use this ball underneath the quads, or you can put both legs on if you're starting out and it's really sore. Put both legs and both pressure on. All right, as you progress and it starts to lighten up and not be so tender, then you can put all your body weight onto one leg and work that. Try to work right all the way to the kneecap and all the way right into the crease of the hip there, okay? So both sides. I promise you, the more that you do the myofascial release with a foam roller or a ball, it might start out being really, really super tender, but every time you do it, it's breaking up the adhesions, it's breaking up the inflammation. And by a week or two, after consistently doing it, at least for me, I noticed the pain go away. So I knew I'd done something really good for my body. I feel like there was one more thing. Oh yes, okay, last thing for the lower back. Really important, 2 things. Let's hit the lower back. So we can use the ball laying on the floor, or you can use the foam roller. So let's just show the ball real quick. I'm gonna put my elbow down, and I'm gonna put my other hand down on the floor in order so I have a little bit of support. And I'm just going to work that, or you can just lay over the ball. Oh, no, you can't, it's too big. You can lay over a tennis ball. But just find where you find some medium, no more than 5 out of 10 pressure. Take deep breaths so the muscle fibers move underneath of you, and then kind of work on going back into it again. If you just got one side of the spine, make sure you get the other side, okay? You can use the ball, okay. The glutes and the hip, man, this is probably one of the best things you can do for your lower back, is either stretch it. Maybe you want to start out by stretching it. Cross the ankle. This figure 4 stretch can be done sitting up, or you can lay down and pull the knees in and pull that towards you. So this is a really great stretch for the piriformis muscle, which is a muscle in the glutes that crosses over the hip, and the sciatic nerve pierces through it. So the sciatic nerve comes out of the lumbar spine and it goes right through this muscle before it goes down the legs. So one of the places that it can be pinched or irritated is in the piriformis muscle. So by stretching this muscle, you might get a little bit of like radiation into your hip possibly, but after you're done, it's gonna release it. So make sure you do both sides, all right? So that's the great stretch. Then use the ball. Use the ball and roll around on the hip. So get the outside of that hip, the glute, and the underneath. And if you're like, wow, this is nothing, this is easy, okay, challenge it up. Come into the stretch, put your hand down for support. Lift your chest up, never sinking down. The chest needs to be up to tilt that pelvis into the ball. And then you can either hold it or you can roll it around. And that's going to open up this window in order so that that pressure can get right deep into that piriformis muscle. All right, last thing, finishing with the foam roller, okay? Lower back, start seated on it, roll down, walk your body, okay? And then I like to put my elbow down and roll about 30 degrees to the side so I feel that on the fleshy part on the outside of my lower back. And I'm just rocking it back and forward because it's just a small, short area, or at least on me, it's a small, short area, and back and forth on the other side, okay? Or that ball is really, really intense. So maybe you want to start with the foam roller. Maybe start with the knees unbent, leaning over to one side, chest is lifted, working that glute. And it's like, okay, that's not bad. Then cross the ankle over and come back in and work that piriformis and that glute even deeper. So for me, it's a little bit sore. That tells me that you're gonna probably be seeing me doing this again sometime in the next few days. So please post your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have questions or if there's areas that you would like me to go over again or I haven't gone over yet, and I will hit those areas tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.